Welcome to Chromium, the Mutable. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like it. We have Phyrexian Arena in the hand. We have Chaos Wand, Swords to Plowshare, Worn Power Stone. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we hit that third land drop to get down Phyrexian Arena, and then also Worn Power Stone. So let's go and lead off with Fetid Pools, and then anything else. We're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Chromium. Come back here, Chromium. It's not time to go Invisible Stalker just yet. We're playing Chromium, the Mutable. Flash this spell can't be countered, then discard a card. It does have flying too. Discard a card until end of turn. Chromium becomes a 1/1 human that is unblockable and has hexproof. And drawn to Thopter Foundry. Let's go and get down Marsh Flats. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get down Thopter Foundry. I don't mind going for that. So let's go and crack Marsh Flats. And then, like I said, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we do hit that third land drop. That'll really open us up as far as mana goes. Let's go and grab Tundra. Have that come into play untapped. And we'll go and grab, not pay any life like it was a shock land. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing against Samut, Voice of Dissent, Flash, Double Strike, Vigilance, and Haste. Other creatures you control have haste. And then for 1 white mana activation, untap another target creature. Alright, so we covered both commanders. It's free time. We can talk about whatever we want. That's going to be Chromium. Now, as far as this particular build of Chromium, one of the fun things about Chromium is that Chromium kind of leaves you open as far as whatever sort of build you want to go for. I really enjoyed playing my Phynax deck, which is kind of heavy art. Oh, there we go. Hit that land drop. Unfortunately, it is not a black source or Phyrexian Arena, but it allows to get down more Power Stone, which I'll definitely take. So let's go and shock Hollowed Fountain in. We're going to take 2 on this one. Put us down to 27. Let's go and tap out for 1 Power Stone. 1, 2, and then 3, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, that's one of the fun things about Chromium is it kind of keeps you open as far as whatever sort of build you want to go for, since Chromium is going to be a wonderful finisher for whatever you have kind of going on. Now, we do have a heavy artifact theme in here. We do have the Thopter Foundry combo in here. That's going to be Thopter Foundry and Sword of the Meek. If you're not familiar with that, it's going to allow us to kind of basically each turn is once we get down Sword of the Meek, for every mana that we do have, we can sacrifice Sword of the Meek. It's going to go to the graveyard, come back onto the battlefield, we'll gain a life, and at the same time, oh, there we go, hit that black source. So going to get on Sunken Ruins, and then basically for every mana we have, we're going to be able to gain 1 life and put a Thopter on the battlefield. Do we want to tap out for Phyrexian Arena? That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? Let's go and do this. Let's go and tap out on Hollowed Fountain. Let's go and add double black to our mana pool. And then let's go and tap out for 1 off of Worn Power Stone. And let's go and get down Phyrexian Arena. And let's go and tap out for Chaos Wand. That's going to be 1 and 2. There we go. It's going to get down Chaos Wand, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, another win condition we do have for the deck is Chaos Wand. Once we get down Paradox Engine and some sort of combination of mana rocks that allows us to tap out for 4 total mana, that allows us to kind of start churning through our opponent's deck with Chaos Wand. So that's always an interesting way to kind of go for win condition with Chromium. But outside of that, we do have the Mindcrank combo in here. So we have Mindcrank and Dustmantle Guildmage. We get down Mindcrank and Dustmantle Guildmage. We're able to go for that first mana activation off Dustmantle. And then once we get a card into our opponent's graveyard, basically so create this infinite loop of having a card go to the graveyard and then losing a life. Now, as far as next turn goes, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 total mana. So that does put us on 1 with Machine. That'll allow us to at least draw 3 cards off of that one, which I don't mind going for that one. And at the same time, it's going to keep us online for Swords to Plowshare. So hopefully between going for 1 with Machine, that allows us to draw into a few extra cards, and at the same time kind of keep us offline, for at least for Samut swinging across. If you haven't played against Samut, it is pretty hectic sometimes. They can get some pretty good board states developed, and especially something like Great Warlord Rada on the battlefield. Alright, so we're going to get that Phyrexian Arena trigger going. See what we draw off of this one. Draw into Plains, and we draw into Swamp. Let's go and get Swamp down at this point right now. You know, let's go and go for 1 with Machine. I think I kind of like going for that. Yeah, let's see if we can't get a few more artifacts on the battlefield. Let's go and tap out for double blue off Sunken Ruins. And let's go and tap out on Worn Power Stone. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 with Machine. Ooh, there we go. Draw into Mindcrank. And we'll also draw into Tezzeret. Okay. Let's go and get down Mindcrank. That's going to be 1, 2. We could be, if we had 4 mana, I would be tempted to leave up something like Chaos Wand. But at least at this point right now, we're going to be threatening at least 2 to 3 different combos on the battlefield. Anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, unfortunately, I did tap out on 1 white mana, so I didn't leave up Swords to Plowshare. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to bite us on this one. But at least at this point, it's going to be Samut coming down, which is not going to be the end of the world. Our opponent only has about 5 cards in the hand, so Now, one of the fun things with Tezzeret is we can immediately get down Tezzeret and be able to go for that -2 ability and get Sword of the Meek on the battlefield. That allows us to hopefully kind of start building some sort of board state that makes it really hard for our opponent to kind of swing into us. You know, if you're swinging in with a 3-4 with double strike and a 3-4 with haste, that's all good, but they don't have trample. So if we can kind of get those Thopters going, or we can slowly kind of gain that incremental life and make it hard for them to swing into us, that'll probably be what we end up doing next turn. And then that's one of the fun things about this deck. You know, we can get down stuff like the Thopter Foundry combo, and then once we kind of have that established, we'll be able to kind of flash in Chromium and hopefully kind of close it out with some sort of commander damage win, especially with Chromium sitting at a 7-7. Our opponent's going to go for Eldritch Evolution, sacrificing Grand Warlord Rada. And our opponent ends up going for Aurelia the War Leader, so it's going to allow them to get in an extra combat step whenever it does attack in. So we'll see what else they're going to go for. Now, as far as us tapping out for Tezzeret next turn, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will allow us to at least kind of tap out for about 3 Thopters off of this one. So that allows us to hopefully not completely die to some sort of extra combat step with commander damage, especially with Aurelia on the battlefield. Okay, that does knock us down to 5. We're going to have the Phyrexian Arena card draw. See what we draw into. Draw into Contraband Kingpin, and we draw into Scrubland. And let's go and get down Scrubland. Yeah, I think I like that. We get down Scrubland, and let's still go and tap out on Tezzeret on this one. So we're going to go black, and then double blue off Sunken Ruins. And what we will do is we'll go ahead and leave up Swords of Plowshare on this one. Make sure we leave up that white mana. That's going to be 1, 2, and then we'll go and tap out on Scrubland to get down Tezzeret. Let's go and go for the -2 off Tezzeret. Search your library for an artifact with 2. And let's go and grab Sword of the Meek, have that enter the battlefield, and that'll allow us to at least get 2 Thopters onto the battlefield and at the same time go for Swords to Plowshare. Now, with our opponent completely tapped out, I think I do like going for Swords at this point right now, just in case they have some sort of protection spell or something like that. We want to get rid of that extra combat step, and then whatever sort of hasty creatures they do have, hopefully we'll be able to at least get 2 Thopters on the battlefield, at least kind of chump block on Samut on this one. Okay, so our opponent's going to go to the combat step, see how they want to do this one. And that will be Samut swinging in. Let's go and go for a Thopter Foundry activation. Let's go and sacrifice Sword of the Meek. We're going to get a Thopter on the battlefield. We're going to gain a life. We'll also be able to bring Sword of the Meek back out of the graveyard once that Thopter hits the battlefield. And opponent's going to go for Path to Exile. Okay, yes, we're going to use that ability. Now that will still bring Sword of the Meek back onto the battlefield, so we'll be able to at least get one more Thopter going off of that. It's going to tap out on one more. Now, if they do have another piece of spot removal left in their hand, they will be able to get it on this one, but hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't have another piece of spot removal. Yes, we're going to use that ability, and then we'll go to blockers, hopefully, and then chump block on Samut on this one. Okay, that's going to buy us an additional turn, and basically, right now that we do have at least the combo on the battlefield, if our opponent has some sort of artifact removal, more than likely they would have used it. That's going to allow us to tap out for a ton of Thopters and really get out from underneath this kind of life loss that we're getting from Phyrexian Arena. Alright, so we run into Scrap Trawler, and then we also draw into Padium. Let's go and get Plains down. And I guess at this point right now, yeah, let's just go and pass the turn. We're going to be completely open for flashing in Chromium if we need to go for that. If not, we're simply just going to be able to tap out for a ton of Thopters on the battlefield. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's going to be about 10 Thopters that we can get going off of that. Okay, we have Samut swinging in. And what I'm going to do on this one, I'm probably just going to go ahead and speed this loop up really quick. Okay, so we're just going to declare one of these Thopters as a blocker, and then what we'll do is if they pass the turn, we'll end up tapping out for a lot more Thopters on the battlefield, and then start swinging in at our opponent off of that. Okay, opponent's going to go for Fight with Fire. It was kick, so it could deal 2 damage among any number of targets, so they're going to target us for that. Let's go and tap out for a lot of Thopters off that. Okay, that's going to put us up to 15. Let's see how our opponent wants to divvy out that Fight with Fire. That's all 10 damage being dealt to us, putting us down to 5, which will allow us to kind of survive from that one. Let's go and get the Phyrexian Arena trigger, draw into additional card, and then draw into Temple of Deceit. I guess at this point right now, let's go ahead and get down Flooded Stream. Actually, we'll go for Temple of Deceit. That way we can get some scry going off of that one. And let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. Let's go and push in with some of our Thopters. That will make them actually mill out some pretty good cards into their graveyard. We're looking at about 10 coming across, putting them down to 23. Let's go and always yield to these Mindcrank triggers. And then let's go and go, make sure we go for, I think I might have missed that Tezzeret activation last turn. Let's go and tap out for Worn Power Stone you want to go for Chaos Wand activation off this? That's going to be 1, 2. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Let's see if we can't hit something off Chaos Wand. And let's go on. All right, opponent's going to scoop it up on that one once we go for the Chaos Wand with Seismic Shift off that. So basically what's going to happen is we go for Chaos Wand activation. We can blow up one of their lands. We still have Tezzeret to go for. We can untap Worn Power Stone and untap Chaos Wand. But basically with our opponent only having one card in the hand and us having the Thopter Foundry combo on the battlefield, that's basically going to allow us to just slowly grind the game out, completely tapping out for our mana and getting those Thopters on the battlefield. As you can see, we were able to dodge a Fight with Fire that was kicked for 10 total damage. That really allowed us to kind of get out from underneath that one. Our life total did get down pretty low, but thankfully our opponent didn't have any sort of trample effects on the battlefield. You can definitely see how the Thopter Foundry is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we didn't get down Chromium. And Chromium definitely is a little bit more of a finisher in this deck. You know, let's say there's some board states where we just can't push past our opponent's board. Getting down Chromium as a 7/7 flyer to deal that commander damage is what we've got going on. But you'd also see, you know, if we had an opportunity to get on Contraband Kingpin, you have these artifacts entering the battlefield. We get some really nice scry going off of that one. If we get Tezzeret popped up to about 5, we can -5 on Tezzeret and get Paradox Engine on the battlefield, and then really start going for Chaos Wand. Or let's say that we finally draw into Dustmantle Guildmage. That would have kept us online for Mindcrank to kind of go for that one. But we're able to close it out with the Thopter Foundry combo. And if you enjoyed that video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.